What's going on, guys? This is the brand new Rovan 450 XLT. It is giant. It is so giant that I can't hold it much longer. I already have it, don't I? Well, I'm about to take it out of the box. Enjoy the unboxing video, the first start, the review, and then we'll be back with some final thoughts. Nitro World Order.
Nitro World Order.
What's going on, guys? This is a giant box. And in this video, we will take whatever's inside out. We will do a full review and we will fire it up. Now the box says Rovan Racing. That could only mean one of two things. We got a giant fifth scale gas RC inside. This is the XLT450. It's a 45cc giant RC truck. Let's open it up. Awesome packaging, what I like to call IKEA style, box within a box. Oh my God, look at that. It's big, it's freaking blue, and it's known as the XLT. You can get these right now at Fearless RC. They're about $1,350, so not extremely cheap, but I'm telling you guys, when we take a look at it, you will see why it's worth that kind of money. The packaging seems incredible. Now that is a giant freaking wheel. I remember these are kind of based on the old Losi MTXL platform, which was a massive hit in the fifth scale world. I always wanted one, but now Losi discontinued them and we're kind of stuck with their 5T chassis. Let's take out what we have in the box, then we'll remove the body, take a look at the chassis, and do the whole proper review that you guys know this channel to do. We have a very convenient fuel mixing jug. Now, normally people run 25-to-1 as recommended by the manufacturer for break-in. Over time, I would really recommend a 32-to-1 fuel mixture. Now, if you don't want to mix fuel, this is the fuel you need to get. I've been running this particular power mix 25-to-1 ratio for almost a year now, and the benefit of running something like this is it is ethanol free. Over time, ethanol has a tendency to break down the rubber diaphragm components in the carburetor. More on that later. Let's take out what we have here. Some of the very important items that are included: you have a charger, you have the spark plug tool, you have extra shock oil, manuals, covered wheel nuts over here, and a handy manual. Let's take a look at the included radio. Radio is one of those things that you can upgrade, do whatever you want, but it's always good to know what it comes with from the factory. Okay, we got the super handy FlySky GT3B. Very user-friendly radio. You can run up to 10 model memories on here just with separate receivers. The best thing about this is backlit screen, and it's a 3-channel, which means you can install a kill switch. Eventually this truck will get the kill switch. Always very important to run one of them on all your gas RCs. If you have one runaway, you'll never want to have another runaway, if you know what I'm saying. So the wheels, I gotta say, for huge fifth scale 24mm hubs, the rubber compound is very soft. The foam is nice and dense on the inside, and actually they're fairly light. I would like to weigh this if we had a scale. We don't have like a micro scale somewhere, do we? Since this isn't a meth house, I don't have a proper scale to weigh tires, okay? But what I do have is an Arma. This is from one of their 6S lineup trucks, and you guys could see the size of the Rovan XLT450 is vastly superior to the Arma tire.
There's a T-Max tire.
Oh, we got a T-Max tire? I like when tires come flying at me. Oh yeah, this is no comparison. I love the T-Max, but in this case, if you had a tire competition, the Rovan XLT450 would dominate that competition. And the T-Max tires are fairly big, especially the 3.3 models. Let's take this amazing blue body off. I could tell it comes very well protected in a giant bag. Oh man, our first look at the giant 1/5 scale Rovan XLT450 chassis. This thing, I can see it has so many upgrades. I honestly don't know which part of the chassis to begin at. The truck is amazing looking. I honestly have never seen such a highly optioned Rovan directly out of a box. Wheel nuts are well protected, standard 24mm hubs. So this particular chassis, let me just give you guys kind of an understanding of what this is. This is an upgraded Losi 5T compatible chassis. Now Rovan themselves, or should I say Fearless RC, which is where they're sold and distributed, say that this compared to the 5T has an extended suspension arm set and vast upgrades. And I will say those two statements are 100% accurate. Everything on this chassis is beautifully done in billet. In terms of servo power, these are dual fit scale servos, each running 55 kilograms. If you add them up, if you know the math, that's 110 kilograms of servo strength. And that is honestly insane. The shocks are enormous. Very huge shock shafts. Look at those shock shafts. Very thick. I would say a very good use of plastic where you need it. The steering hubs and the knuckles are plastic. This is pretty good because you do want some flex in the system here. Looking at the top-down view, we have very important and useful aluminum chassis braces, bracing all around the front. Body mount is nice and flexible. Now this is attention to detail. You want rigidity in the chassis, but you want a little flexibility where the body meets the car. Otherwise, all of this stuff is going to rip directly through the body. The bumper also has a very good amount of flexibility where you want it. This is quality plastics. In the front, we do have sway bars and very thick CVD axles all around. Coming around this side, we have a large capacity fuel tank with an included aluminum fuel cap and a third line, which is the breather. Interesting on this chassis, I see we have a breather, but also the fuel cap itself, a Rovan fuel cap, does have its own breather there. You could kind of tell there's a little hole in the middle of the letter F. I guess they're telling you something, huh? Long ago, when the first fit scales came out, usually you just had two fuel lines. This external breather was not included. All you had was a regular breather hole in the fuel cap, and oftentimes you would have like a condition called vapor lock, where your RPM would just creep up unless you released a little bit of that fuel line pressure or enlarged the breather itself. We have a nice upgraded aluminum air filter stack. Not sure what my feelings are on an air filter like this. Now, generally in a nitro hobby, people do not use permanent style filters like these. These are washable, but generally people run like a 2 or 3 stage air filter system that is oiled in at least 2 of the stages. More about this in the future, but we're just going to leave it how it is. Now, the star of the show, guys, is this 45cc massive, crazy, sickening power plant with the included easy starter pull start. These things fire up well. Carburetor, we do have an 1107 Walbro, and it does come with the NGK spark plug. Interesting design on the 45cc motors. These are dual ring motors. Notice the spark plug is mounted on a diagonal. Very good design. So normally in the cheaper motors, by cheaper I mean just smaller displacement, not necessarily cheaper, but smaller displacement, the plug sticks up vertically directly out of the head. Now if you take a tumble, okay, you want to take a tumble, your plug could have a tendency of pulling out. Here, having it mounted on the diagonal is a very efficient way of protection. In terms of the drivetrain, this is based around the Losi MTXL, I would say, and the Losi 5T. All of those models use, well, they use 3 regular differentials. This is no different. In the center, we have a giant metal spur gear that is coupled to a center differential. Throttle servo, another insane giant servo, and I do like the fact that you have adjustable front and rear brake bias, typical of a buggy setup. Very useful. I could tell we have probably the largest disc brakes I have seen in a long time. But fifth scales generally have giant disc brakes just like this. Important feature, adjustable servo saver. These giant cars, when you take a landing, well, the servo saver could save your entire steering system. Let me tell you how it is. This pipe, I gotta tell you, it's a good looking pipe. Now the welds here are a little bit less than sickening, depending how you look at it. But I will tell you, I remember when people first got the older Losi MTXL and the 5-T, they would put on upgraded Samba pipes that looked just like this. Maybe they had a little bit of a better weld, but those were like 250 bucks. This is included in the package, and you're looking at the full ready-to-run chassis. Let's test out the electronic system in a little bit. I want to take a look at the included battery they have coupled with this chassis. Well, it's kind of hard to open. How do you open this thing?
Nice.
Oh, how you doing, man?
How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing all right.
Nice.
Just filming a video. This is a 5th scale Rovan.
It's a
Gas
Rovan?
RC. 5th scale Rovan. Yeah, we're doing a video review. How you doing?
Sorry about this.
No, you can talk, bro. It's okay. It's all legit.
What you're running?
Well, we're about to set it up right now. 4500
at my house. I have a Limitless. I have a shit. I have so many. I have the new Traxxas, the Supra, and I souped that
the Fortec.
Yeah,
the Traxxas Fortec.
I souped it up with a 4S.
Let's take a little cut. I'm gonna tell our new friend over here, member of the Nitro and the Gas Gang, of course.
How you doing, guys? I'm glad to meet you guys. I'm just working here.
Got the wheels on the truck, and guys, now you can actually understand just how wide this is. Without really having the wheels on, it is tough to know. But as a joke I made previously, if you ever seen a 1980s movie with Danny DeVito, his nickname was 4x4. That's because he was 4 foot tall and 4 foot fat. This is the same way. Turn the radio on, 8 AA's, turn on the electronics. The system is on, guys. It's alive. First thing I like to do is just check if the failsafe is correctly set up from the factory. So I'm gonna power off the radio. We should hopefully see the brakes engage. Oh yeah, that is good. That is a good sign. For beginners, you definitely want the failsafe to be correctly engaged. Now in terms of the external remote kill switch, that will be installed here in the future, and we will be able to have a safe driving environment. With the body on, this thing is even better looking. Nice access to the body clips. So we have 2 body clips in the front. We have 2 on each side of the body holding it down, and obviously 2 on the rear shock tower. Man, beautiful design. I also like where the exhaust exits. It's kind of like a side rear exhaust, you would say. Beautiful chassis in the front. A very nice paint color scheme. Once the stickers are applied, it will be even nicer. Great suspension. I notice as I'm pushing it all the way down here, it doesn't actually bottom out here in the front. These trucks are meant to take massive jumps. The jumps, the likes of which the USA has never seen. Maybe they have only been done in the UK, I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you something, guys. This is the biggest, the baddest 45cc current Rovan you can actually get, the 450 XLT. Check out the steering. This is on the stock battery pack. We haven't even charged it, just took it out of the box. Well, it does move the massive wheels, 110 kg combined. Obviously with the battery pack charged, it will be significantly better. Man, that is beefy. You know, I'm liking the setup. Usually they use 1 servo horn for everything here, but here they're using 2 separate aluminum horns. Pretty good setup. Check out this awesome aluminum servo tray for the throttle servo. Beautiful. Extra attention to detail here. I could see springs on the brake bolts. That is nice. So you're not gonna have the brakes that are basically always causing drag or engaged. That is nice. The brakes are always being pushed back by the spring. Well, there's only one thing left to do. We verified the failsafe. We gotta put some fuel in it and fire it up. For braking, there's a lot of myths, but I'll tell you something. You just need a couple of heat cycles. That should be good. About half a tank. I live one half a tank at a time. Some people live a quarter mile at a time. You know, maybe a Mitsubishi Eclipse, black Honda Civic, Supra, whatever other cars were in that movie. We live half a tank of fuel at a time. Do the prime job, I'm gonna press the primer bulb until it fills up, and then a couple more primes after. Okay, I could see it's full of fuel. I usually like to do about 15 primes on it on a brand new motor. Now keep in mind guys, this isn't actually forcing fuel into the motor. This is only building fuel line pressure. There we go. The primer bulb is basically full at this point. Make sure you always have the wheels off the ground. We are currently using Arma wheels. You never know if the clutch spring is engaged or broken or whatever the case is. Good safety precaution. I have the radio. Let's prime the motor with one tug at a time there. There we go. Whoa, that was already a quick fire. This thing wants to really run. Sickening. Fire up was terrific. We've confirmed the stock factory needle settings are on point, although I think I would lower the idle a little bit by adjusting the low speed needle a little bit counterclockwise, about 1/8 of a turn in the future, but right now this is okay. We did one heat cycle. Let's fire it up again and we'll do just short little driving action. That was a start. Brakes are good. Turning radius is okay. So far, no problems at all. Need to do a little bit of work, I think, on the suspension geometry. but that's no big deal. Camber caster, toe in, toe out. All of that is adjustable on this chassis. We did have to lower the low speed needle a little bit to kind of compensate for a lower idle, but that could be a temperature based thing. Today is a kind of a hot day. It could be that, but nothing bad happened. We will do more on this in the future. We just did a couple heat cycles today, tested out the electronics, did a chassis overview. No problems to report. Need to go home and charge the battery pack, apply the stickers, and we'll be back with more sickening RC action. If you smell what the Nitro gang is cooking.
So fine, but her breath is like, she say she wanna dance, but she don't know how to.